Today I wanted to talk about the technical part of telling a story, especially in a documentary storytelling environment. First, let me give you a background how a corporate video is different from documentary videos. There are many ways to look at these two different genres. I cannot speak on behalf of most filmmakers, but I personally like crafting documentary stories because it involves putting together dialogue that resonates with the audience. And for me, it's all about the opportunity to leave a lasting impact on your viewer. Don't get me wrong, you can still use this style in corporate videos as I do, but telling documentary stories is more fluid. It's more like I'm sitting in front of you telling you a story experience. Okay? So a few months back, I went to Phnom Penh, Cambodia to film volunteer work being done by Googlers. So these are a bunch of young, amazing people working in Google. So I went there for like I think 4 or 5 days, and I filmed using a Micro Four Thirds camera, which I have here. It's the first time that I went on the road to film using a Micro Four Thirds camera. I am used to filming most of the time using my Canon 5D, and I realized it gets heavier, especially on overseas shoots. So I got this and gave it a try for this project. So all the footages that you will be seeing on this video was captured using this camera and another GoPro for, GoPro is a must when you go outdoors, okay? So I get to interview a monk who is the founder of Green Umbrella. I wanted to show you how I did the cutting. I won't go through the whole thing, but I just want to emphasize a point that there's a lot of hard work being put behind the scenes just so that you are able to tell a compelling and engaging documentary story. So I have the file open up in Premiere Pro. You can use any software that you want, but I have been using Premiere Pro for a while now, and I never use any other editing software after that. So this is my, as you can see on the screen, this is my whole Green Umbrella project. It's a 4-minute video. So later on I will let you know where you can watch this. But what I wanted to show you is the next sequence here is all my interview footage, which is roughly 30 minutes or half an hour. So I just wanted to show you this part of the interview where Socrates, the monk, was giving me a background story of how the foundation started. So what I would do is, once I am able to choose a specific section from my whole interview sequence, I would isolate that sequence and put it on another sequence, which I call demo also. So what I would usually do is I would go through that selected clip again. Sometimes it takes me like 2-3 times to go over a certain clip, just so that I get the feel of what really matters in what he is talking about. So I'm gonna just show you and run through the clip with you.
I arrived this community in 2007, and I came here to teach monks. That at that time, the community invited me to teach monks in this community. After staying 1 year in this community, I spent time to teach monks and little children. Then I found that there are many children who want to study.
So you would notice he tends to stumble a bit in his interview, and in a few minutes or so, he was able to share me the background story, which is what I wanted to get from him as the interviewer or the producer or the filmmaker. As a storyteller, what you need is to find out what matters most in everything that he said. You will be faced with a difficult situation like this, because for new editors, it will feel like everything is just really useful. But you need to remember that you're looking to come up with a video that's under 5 minutes, and as if you would go back to our clip, the section that I chose to just give me a background story is already at the 1 minute 23 second mark. And if you're looking at the video that is under 5 minutes, this is the stage where you should have already been able to tell 30% of your story, which obviously we are still not there. So the challenge is in how do you cut it down in a way that you would still get to share the essence of your story. So let me walk you through how I would work on this. So what I would usually do, as I have mentioned, is just go through it and make creative decisions here and there, like what I wanted to use. So for this stage, let's just go through it.
I write this community in 2007, and I came here to teach monks. That at that time, the community invited me to teach monks.
Okay, so if things are getting confusing for you, my suggestion is after each full sentence, just cut it. Okay, so for this case,
I write this community in 2007.
So that part, I arrived in this community in 2007. So that's a complete statement. That's something that might be or might not be helpful, but that's a complete statement. So let's try and move forward and see what else we can get.
And I came here.
So I came here to teach monks. As you can see, the decision is in those few words, what are the words that matters most? And obviously what matters most is I came here to teach monks. So I'm gonna cut the portion that where he was stumbling in okay, so let's see how this works.
And
okay, so and I will take it out, and I will just join these two clips.
So then I came here to teach monks.
Okay, so that makes it an even more complete statement. I arrived here in 2007 to teach monks. Okay, so that's something that establishes a background of why he is there in the first place, and that's something that is very useful for me.
That in that time, the community invited me to teach monk in this community.
Okay, so as you would notice, that's a number one problem when you're doing interviews. You cannot really control how your subject will share their story. So in that part, he was saying he was repeating himself.
At that time, the community invited me to teach monks in this community.
The community invited me to teach monks in this community. Okay, so when you listen to it over and over again, it's practically repeating whatever we have already selected in our the earlier section of our sequence. So I can just let go of it and delete it. Okay.
After staying 1 year in this community, I spent time to teach monks.
This is another statement where I would stop and figure out if I wanted to use it. So what he just said was,
staying 1 year in this community, I spent time to teach monks.
Okay, after spending time for 1 year, he was teaching monks. Again, he's repeating himself. So probably I would just take out the part that he says I was staying here for 1 year.
After staying 1 year in this community, after staying 1 year in this community.
Okay, after staying 1 year.
After staying 1 year in this community.
So I'm gonna take that part.
Teach monks. After staying 1 year in this community.
I wanted to lay down the foundation of what happens next. What's the next big thing that happened after him deciding to stay there and work for the community. So let me just listen through this.
I spent time to teach monks and little children.
Okay, so that part I can also take out.
Then I found that there are many children who want to study.
Okay, so this is the part that probably would give me an insightful section of my introduction, because Socrates already told me that he went there to teach monks, but after teaching for a year, he realized something else. So those are part of sound bites of interviews, because remember, when you're doing interviews like this is not scripted. Okay, so you're at the mercy of whatever the person is gonna tell you. For me, videos like this, even if my clients or the people that I'm gonna work with, even if they're gonna ask me with a script, I won't give them a script. I would probably give them at most the talking points, but not the script, because I wanted them to share the story from their heart and let it flow as natural as it can. So I wouldn't go through the whole thing because I don't have the luxury of time to do this. So what I would do is go to the next part of the video, which is finding supporting footage that is relevant to what was said on the dialogue. Okay, and that is the beauty of telling stories, because once you capture the supporting footage, you will really be forced to push yourself to capture as much footage as you want, then work on the story as it goes, and build small portions of those footages to really tell a captivating and engaging story. Let me try to show you how I would cover this with supporting footage. So I prepared two clips here. One is a GoPro footage and one is a footage shot from my Olympus. So while I was filming in the village, I saw this random old man riding his bike. So immediately I thought this is something that I can use as an establishing shot, although I don't have the story yet. But I immediately, went down and took a low angle shot and waited for him to pass by my shot or my frame. I don't want to stop him and ask him to do it for me again, because first, I don't speak their language, and second, I don't want to disturb people when I'm filming. So what I did was, just to try to capture whatever I can. So I have here a portion of the sequence which I decided I can use, which is somewhere in the 42nd to 31-second to 34-second mark. So I would just, drag this and cover my clip.
I write this community in 2007.
My other option is to show vintage photos, the actual vintage photos or old photos that shows, the cliche, probably the monk going to the community and people welcoming him. But I don't have that footage. I would always go, especially if it's the introduction of videos, I would always go for emphatic and emotive shots. And in this case, I chose an establishing shot because he was talking about community. So I thought it would be good to show, a glimpse of the community, which was provided to me by the random old man riding his bike. And then I have another GoPro footage here, which is a slow motion shot of the monk, because while I was there, I asked him to show me to the village. So we went to the village and I filmed him using my GoPro in slow motion. So I have here slow motion footage of him walking. So again, I will just select the in and the out. This is not a video editing tutorial. This is a video that teaches the principles of cutting for the purpose of telling stories. So probably if you're still new to editing videos, you can jump to, you can go on YouTube and find really interesting and good video tutorial clips. So right now, I'm just gonna take whatever I chose from the slow motion footage, because for me, when you talk about emotive shots, a monk walking in a wide open rice paddy in slow motion, that for me equates to epic. So that's what I'm gonna use.
When I came here to teach monks, after staying 1 year in this community,
Okay, so another thing that I wanted to point is, once you are able to cover the footage, because the objective of covering your footage first is to provide relevance and context to whatever is being said, and the next objective is to really cover the cuts from your footage, because as you can see on our interviews, I have like 1, 2, 3 portions that are cuts. So I need to cover those cuts. I really need to find out the frames where it was cut and cover it as much as I can. So right now, my last cut ended up here, so I'm gonna cover it with supporting footage. So if showing you in the whole section in a span of 11 seconds, I was able to, capture or come up with a clip that gives me the background story, which establishes what I need to do in terms of telling the whole story. So I'm just gonna run this clip again.
I write this community in 2007. I came here to teach monks. After staying 1 year in this community, then I found that there are many children who want to study.
Okay, so that's just a simple walkthrough just to give you the principle in doing this stuff. I wanted to point out that the beauty of documentary storytelling is you get to force yourself to really capture footage and build the story as it happens, as it goes. And this is not a rule of thumb. Other filmmakers may have different styles, but this is something that I am comfortable in doing. So that was a simple walkthrough on how you can cut with the purpose of telling stories. Again, it's not just putting random footages together. You need to be intentional, either from the filming stage or on the editing stage or on both. If the dialogue talks about trees, it doesn't make sense for you to show footage of the Pacific Ocean. Okay, it doesn't work like that. No matter how good the footage is, you don't need to base using footages that are good. Okay, your first filter in your mindset as an editor is this footage relevant? Okay, even if it's so good but it's not relevant to what's being said, never use that footage. I hope you learned something from this simple walkthrough. If you are interested to watch the documentary film, I am including it in the comment section or in the caption of this video, and I just hope that you feel free to watch it and share it. Hope you would follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and just follow my website frame316.com. Thank you and have a good day.